Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Black Panther statue from Captain America Civil War. By the way, I have made some more statues from the film. I've also made, just to the left of me, Iron Man and Captain America. You can find both of those tutorials both in the card system and in the description below as well, just in case you want to make all of these. If you want to make Black Panther, here's what you're going to need. You'll need some cyan stained clay and some black wool. Grab some dark grey wool, light grey wool, and finally grab yourself some white wool. Once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making them right here, you're going to want to kick off your Black Panther statue with a row of 4 black wool in a row on the floor. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then on top of this row of 4 black wool, we want to stack 2 additional rows of black, so that'll be 1, and this will be 2. We then, for the next row, going from left to right, want to do 1 cyan stained clay, 2 black wool, 1 clay. Then for the next row, do 1 black wool, 2 clay, 1 black wool. Then for the next 3 rows, do 3 layers of black wool. That's 1, 2, 3. Then what we now want to do, this is a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. What we want to do is 1 row backwards, and on top of the last row that we made, we want to construct another row of black wool. So you might be able to see what I'm talking about. 1 row backwards and 1 row higher in relation to the previous row, we want another row of black wool. And on top of this row of black wool, we want to stack 2 additional rows of black. So that'll be 1, and this will be 2. Then, for the next row on top of this, we want to go from left to right, do 1 black wool. Actually, we don't want to do this. We want to 1 row higher and 1 row behind this. We want to, starting on the left hand side, so 1 row higher and 1 row behind, we want to start off with a single black wool. And then going to the right, we want to do a row of 6 cyan stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we want to do a black wool like that. And what we can now do is underneath this row of 4 that we have here, so this black on the right and these 3 cyan stained clays, we want to underneath this do 6 rows of black wool. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we can just fill all of these in, can't we? So we can just fill all of these rows in with 6 black wool like that. And then still coming down after you've done your 6 rows of black wool, we want to go from left to right underneath this, do 1 black, 2 cyan, 1 black. Then underneath that, we want to do a cyan, 2 black, 1 cyan. And then underneath this, 3 layers of black. That's 1, 2, and 3 will take you all the way down to the ground. So what we want to have in essence should look a little bit like this. And what we have made here is we have simply made kind of like a staggered leg in front of the other. So his right leg is kind of in front of his left leg as to kind of brace himself. I'll explain why that is a little later on. But continuing on, we want to come all the way up to the top of the statue, and on top of this row of black and cyan, we want to go from left to right, do 1 cyan stained clay, followed by 6 black wool, then 1 cyan stained clay. Then for the next row, an entire row of black wool. Then for 2 rows, we want to do 1 black, 1 cyan, 1 black, 2 cyan, 1 black, 1 cyan, 1 black, and remember that is for 2 rows, so once you've done 1, do the same thing just above it. Then for the next row above that, going from left to right, do 1 cyan, 1 black, 1 cyan, 2 black, 1 cyan, 1 black, 1 cyan. Then for the row above that, we want to do 2 black wool, 1 cyan, 2 black, 1 cyan, 2 black. Then for the next row, do 3 black wool, 2 cyan, 3 black wool. Then for the next row, do 3 cyan stained clay, 2 black, 3 cyan stained clay. Then for the next row, do 1 cyan, 2 black wool, 1 dark grey, 1 light grey, 2 black wool, 1 cyan. For the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 black wool, 1 light grey, then 2 dark grey, 1 light grey, 1 black wool, 1 cyan. Then for the next row, do 1 cyan, 1 light grey, 1 white wool, then 2 black wool, one white wool, one light grey, one cyan. And for the final row of the torso here, we want to do one light grey wool, one white, then 4 black wool, then one white, one light grey. So what we want to end up with should look a little bit like this. So we want to have the legs attached to the torso. It looks a little crazy, actually. It almost looks like the torso. It kind of looks like the outline of a really angry face. Once you've got that taken care of, we now want to come all the way down to the back of the statue. I say down to the back of the statue. You want to come all the way to the back of the statue. And can you see here where we have kind of like this row of black wool and a cyan stained clay and stuff? Well, we want to take the ends of this row, the 2 black wools, and we want to extend them out the back of the statue each by 3 with the black wool. That's 1, 2, 3. And that'll be 1, 2, 3. And then we want to connect them, third block to third block, like this. What we now want to do is we want to take the bottom 2 corners of this leg that is just completely straight. We want to take the bottom 2 corners and we want to extend each one of the corners back each by 3. That's 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 with the black wool. Connect them together at the back. Then on the back of the leg, we want to emulate what we have for the front of the leg. So can you see on the front here how we have these 2 rows of black wool? So that's like 1 and 2 here. Well, we want to have the 2 rows of black, and then for the next row we want cyan, black wool, cyan. Can you see what I'm doing? And then for the next row after that, black wool, cyan, black wool. And then we want to make all of the rest of the rows black. We're just copying what we have on the front of the leg. That's what we're doing there, just in case you hadn't worked that out. We're just copying what we had on the front, like that. And for the inside parts of the leg, all we want to do is copy what we have on the sides of us. So for the inside part of the leg, you see on the left we have cyan here, on the right we have cyan, on the left we have black, on the right we have black. Well, we want to do that for the sides of this statue. Whatever color you have on the left and right hand side of you, you want to apply that color to the 2 empty spaces for the side of the statue. So as I keep mentioning, where you have black, use black. Where you have cyan stained clay, use cyan stained clay, like that. Now let's talk about the more complicated leg here. So the more complicated leg is actually still quite easy. We want to start off by taking, can you see this section here of like 3 rows of black wool? We want to take each one of the corners of the row of 3 and we want to extend them coming towards the back of the statue each by 3. So take each one of the 4 corners of that little layer of 3 black wool and extend them going towards the back each by 3. You then want to connect them together, third block to third block, and then you just want to fill it in the outer shape. So you just want to have something which should look like that. And once you've done that to this section, we can now come all the way down to the very bottom leg. We can take each one of the back corners of the bottom of the leg, we can extend them back each way, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with the black wool, connect them together at the back, and then all we have to do is just copy what we have for the front of the leg. It's the same thing that we did on the opposite side. So whatever you did for the opposite side, you want to do for this side, and as you guys may or may not be able to remember, all you have to do is just copy what you had in front of you, so you can see that the front of the leg is the same as the back of the leg. And for the sides of this leg here, all you have to do is copy whatever color you have in between the front and the back. So where you have the cyan stained clay, you want to place cyan, but for the rest of it, it's just going to want to be black wool. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. And those are both the legs. What we now have to do is Black Panther's back. So Black Panther's back, we want to come all the way to the back of the statue, as you might imagine. You know what, first of all, we have to amend this row of 8 black wool. So for this row of 8 black wool, we actually want to fill the center of it in with cyan stained clay, not black wool. That was a mistake on my part. You want to take those 6 middle blocks and you want to put cyan stained clay in there. And once you've got that taken care of, you can then, for the next row building on top of this, going from left to right, do 1 cyan stained clay, 6 black wool, 1 cyan stained clay. Then for the next row, do an entire row of black wool. Then for the next 2 rows, you want to do 2 black wool, 1 cyan, 2 black, 1 cyan, 2 black, and remember that is for 2 rows, so once you've got that taken care of, once do the same thing again. Then for the next row, you want to do 1 black wool, 1 cyan, 4 black wool, 1 cyan, 1 black. Then for the next row, you do 1 cyan, 6 black wool, 1 cyan. Then for the next 2 rows, do 1 cyan, 2 black, 2 cyan, 2 black, 1 cyan, and remember that that is for 2 rows, so where you place cyan, where you place black, place black. Then for the next 2 rows after that, you want to do 3 black wool, 2 cyan, 3 black, and remember that's for 2 rows again, so where you place cyan, where you place black, place black. And then for the next row, going from left to right, do 1 black wool, followed by 6 light grey, followed by 1 black wool. Then for the next row, 1 light grey, 6 white wool, 1 light grey, and what you'll end up with should look a little bit like this. And once again, I'm seeing a face. You know those stone head statues on like the edges of islands that you see? I'm kind of seeing one of those on the back of Black Panther. Coincidence? I think not. Once you've got that taken care of, what we now want to do is just fill in the sides of the statue, and to do that you just want to fill in either one of the sides of the torso in with black wool. There's no detail on the sides here, so we just want to fill these in with black wool. It shouldn't be too difficult for you, so we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. And what we're now going to do is Black Panther's head. So come all the way up to the very top of the front of your statue, and on top of these 8 front top blocks of the torso right here, we want to stack a row of 8 black wool. Then in front of this row, we want to do another row of 8 black wool. And then in front of this row, going from left to right, we want to do 2 black wool, 1 light grey, 2 black, 1 light grey, 2 black. And for the row on top of this, because we're now building on top of this, we want to copy that row. So whatever row you just did, you want to copy directly on top of itself. Then for the next row, do 1 black wool, 1 light grey, 4 black wool, 1 light grey, 1 black wool. For the next row, do 1 light grey, 6 black wool, 1 light grey. For the next row, do 1 black wool, 2 white wool, 2 black wool, 2 white wool, 1 black wool. For the next 2 rows, do 2 black wool, 1 light grey, then 2 black wool, 1 light grey, 2 black wool. And remember that that is for 2 rows, so once you've done that once, do the same thing again. And then for the next row, going from left to right, do 1 black wool, 1 light grey, then 4 black wool, 1 light grey, 1 black wool. And that is Black Panther's face. Once you've got his face taken care of, you now want to come all the way around to the back of the head, and you want to take the first row of the back of the head, which is the first row of black that you placed, and you want to extend it coming over the back of the statue until it overhangs the back of the statue by 2 rows, like this. So it overhangs the back by 2 rows, it overhangs the front by 2 rows. We want to take the back 2 corners of the head, raise them up until they are equal height with the front of the head, and then we want to connect them together, connect them to the front of the head, and that will form a shape that should look a little bit like this, a big empty cube. We can then fill this cube in with black wool, and that will be the head majoritively complete. We do have one thing left to do with the head, however. We will have to give him his ears. As you may know, Black Panther has some black pointy ears on the top of his head, and we shall be giving him those, because it's only right that he has those. I mean, he does have them. We don't want to take his ears away. How else will he hear? So we're just filling in the back of his head now. We've got the left-hand side of his head to fill in. Once the left-hand side of the head is filled in, we'll fill in the top, then we'll give him his ears, and then we will give him his 2 arms. So we're just filling in the top of the head. It's actually taking an extraordinarily long time. It doesn't usually take this long, or at least I don't think it does. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Maybe it does usually take this long, and I've never noticed it before. But as you can see, his head is now filled in completely with black wool, and once you've got that taken care of, you now want to, coming to the top 2 front corners of the head, you want to place on top of the front 2 corners of the head a black wool. Just a single black wool. And then behind those black wools, you want to stack rows of 2 black wools. So you want to have something which should look like that. Those are Black Panther's ears. Once you've got those taken care of, we can now take care of his arms, because of course they're the only things missing. So for his arms, you want to start these off by coming to the left-hand side of Black Panther, and you want to, can you see this top left-hand light grey wool that we have on the left-hand side of the statue? Take this wool and extend it out to the left by 4 with your cyan stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then, for the next row, in front of this, coming out in front of the statue, we want to do 3 cyan stained clay, 1 black wool. For the next row, 2 clay, 2 black. For the next row, 1 clay, 3 black. For the next 3 rows, black wool, that'll be 1, 2, and that'll be 3. For the next row, 2 cyan, 2 black. For the next row, 1 cyan, 1 light grey, 1 cyan, 1 black. For the next row, 1 black, 1 cyan, 1 light grey, 1 cyan. For the next 2 rows of black, that'll be 1 and 2. And what we now want to do is we want to take this second row of black wool and we want to extend it down by 3 rows, so that'll be 2 rows already, 3 rows. And then what we want to do is, for the under part of the arm, we actually want to copy what we have directly above us. So for the under part of the arm, all we have to do, of course, is just look directly above us, and we just have to copy what we've done one time already. So we can just copy this until we get all the way up to the top of the arm, and then we've got some more sections of like cyan stained clay. But you'll see those coming a mile off because, of course, we have already done these one time already. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. And for the sides of the arm, all you have to do is connect whatever colour you have above and below you together. So where you have cyan stained clay, use cyan stained clay. Where you have black wool, use black wool, cyan stained clay, etc, etc. It keeps going all the way around until you've completely filled in this side of the arm, or this arm I should say. And once you have filled in this arm, we do have one thing left to add, but I actually want to add it a little bit later. So once you've got that arm taken care of, I now want you to come to the opposite side of the statue. And starting from the same light grey wool that we did on the opposite side, we want to take this light grey, extend it out of the side of the statue by 4 with the cyan stained clay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go from left to right in front of this row, coming out in front of the statue, we want to do 1 black wool, 3 cyan clay. For the next row, do 2 black wool, 2 clay. For the next row, do 3 black wool, 1 clay. For the next 3 rows, do 3 rows of black wool, that'll be 1, 2, and 3. Then for the next row, going from left to right, do 2 black wool, 2 cyan stained clay. For the next row, do 1 black wool, 1 cyan stained clay, 1 light grey, 1 cyan clay. For the next row, do 1 cyan stained clay, 1 light grey, 1 cyan stained clay, 1 black. And then for the next 2 rows, do 2 rows of black, that'll be 1, and this will be 2. We then want to take the second row and extend it down until it is down by 3 rows of black. That's 1 row of black, 2 rows of black, and then this will be 3 rows of black. We then want to, underneath the arm, copy what we have above the arm. So we now just want to make our way gradually backwards, and we just want to copy what we have for the top of the arm. We want to copy what we have for the top of the arm all the way down for the bottom of the arm, all the way down to the bottom of the arm, I should say, and we just want to copy what we have. I believe, yeah, we've got this right. All I have to do now is, no, we've got this wrong, because I should have started in this row, and I should have a black here, a black here, and a black here. Yeah, there we go. So you see, you can't really go wrong as long as you just copy what you've done one time already. So you want to have something which should look like this, and of course, now we've just got to fill the sides of the arm, and we've just got to connect the top of the arm to the bottom of the arm, and obviously to do that, as I keep saying over and over and over again, where you have cyan, place cyan, where you have black wool, place black wool, and you shouldn't run into too much trouble with this. So there's the black wool, there's the cyan stained clay, and this is going to be the black wool as well right here. And boom, those are both of the arms. So you're probably wondering why Black Panther's arms are... Sorry about that loud beeping noise, that was a fire alarm. Don't worry, somebody's just cooking sausages downstairs. So you might be wondering why Black Panther has both of his arms out in front of his body, and that's because he is getting ready to battle. Because the last thing that he is lacking, and this will make a bit more sense once we add them, is his claws. So Black Panther has some claws, being a panther and all, you'd expect it. Starting on this left hand arm here, we want to, in front of the hand, 1 row above and 1 row outwards diagonally to the very top left hand corner of the hand, we want to add a light grey wool. And then we want to, leaving a gap going right, want to place another light grey. Leaving a gap going right, another light grey. Then bottom right diagonally from this, another light grey. Those are what the claws look like. Actually, this claw is 1 row lower. There we go. I thought it looked a little weird, but that is what the claws look like. Not only do you want to do this on the right hand arm, but we want to do this on his left arm as well. So starting from in front of this is like the thumb claw. We want to have one there, and then we want to come up here and place a claw here, and then it's just a matter of having the claws spaced one apart. So once you've done it to one hand, it's pretty easy to figure out what you want to do for the other hand. That's why I didn't go to the bother of explaining it again, but there you go. Now does it make a bit more sense now that he's actually got his claws out? That's why his hands are out in front of his body, getting all ready for battle, and that's why he's kind of like in a pose instead of just being kind of like idle and just having like both his legs together. That's why he's kind of like jolting a little bit forwards with one leg just to kind of like get ready to lunge at somebody. But there we go, that is the Black Panther statue 100% fully complete. It goes very, very well with the other two statues that we have over there, Iron Man and Captain America. Well, hopefully you really do like this statue. I've received this request a lot. I actually received it all the way back when the first Avengers film came out. A lot of you guys requested this, but it now actually makes sense to do Black Panther considering the fact that he is actually involved in the Civil War movie. So hopefully you guys appreciate this. If you do, please give this video a like, a favorite, share. I'd really, really appreciate it. You guys have been requesting this left, right, and center, so honestly, I'd love it if you guys could show the love back. I listen to you. I'd love it if you could throw it back to me. Comment down below, who do you want me to make next? I'm planning a Spider-Man statue, but it's not just going to be a regular Spider-Man statue. It's going to be something a little bit different, so don't worry, that's going to be coming up as well. I haven't forgotten about him, and I may also do a couple of the other characters as well, but I'm not sure whether I'll be doing those or not. So far, it's just Black Panther and Spider-Man that I have planned, other than Iron Man and Captain America that you can see in the background. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. Comment down below. Check out the card system for all of those tutorials, and of course, Spider-Man will also be in there eventually as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.